Hey, what's up, everybody? We are back with another Babbling Bronco podcast. Don't mind me while I fix my brother's frame here. There he is. Say hello, Zach.
Hi. You mean like
I'm
that?
I'm just transforming you really fast. You have to
It's all
be
right.
in your little box, and you're not.
Mm.
But tell them what we're talking about today, man. While I do this.
We we are talking about mainly Broncos
Ah,
and
yes.
what?
I said, ah, yes.
Exclusively Broncos, I believe. Mainly just about what they've done in free agency, what we think about what they've done, and we've got some mock drafts that Evan created to go over. Um, and like I was telling him, I haven't heard of 80% of these guys, so we'll see. We'll see what happens.
All right, I got you in your square, man.
I will stay perfectly still.
Sorry about that, everybody. Yeah. So, dude, quite a good week to be a Broncos fan. Am I right?
Yes,
In
you are absolutely
in
correct.
our opinion, George Payton getting busy and doing his due
Love what he's doing.
diligence. Yeah, it's been a fun week after that. Darby, I believe, was the first signing, right?
Yep. Yeah, the first big one at least.
And then after that, Fuller became available, and we went after him. And let me just pull up.
Well, the big one, Evan, was at least to me, was getting Simmons done.
Of
That was
course, yes.
that was priority number one.
Forgive me.
But yeah, Darby was a really pleasant surprise. And then, I mean, we were talking when the Bears let Fuller go, and we were all over the Broncos wanting to get him, and it just made too much sense with his history with Fangio. It's a really good fit for Denver, so
Right.
that was awesome.
Yeah, it's nice that Peyton wants to keep his own. I mean, we'll get to the Lindsey topic. I know that's the first thing that comes to.
I was gonna say Mike Boone too was another surprise.
Yeah, but let me share this screen. I'm going to share our additions, Zach, if you want to go to that link too. Let's see here. Right off the bat, we got Mike Boone, like you said, and then Shelby. We retained Shelby. We signed him 3-year deal worth
Yeah,
27 million, 15 million guaranteed, all deserving. I mean, he's been a beast. Really awesome. Um, and then we got Ronald Darby, as we mentioned. It was a little bit too much in my mind just because of injury history and whatnot. But hey, if he plays a full year like he did last year, sign me up for that. Um, it just, I hope he doesn't turn into the next Bouye situation, where he got
yeah,
injured and we paid him too much and then we release him the next year.
yeah. Let's knock on wood for that.
Yep, for sure. And then Kyle Fuller, as we mentioned, that was a bit of a surprise. The Bears couldn't afford him anymore. 1-year deal, 9.5 million deal. That basically all of it's guaranteed. And then just
Hmm.
today, Zachary, we re-signed Kareem Jackson. How do you feel about that
Yeah,
one?
I like it. I like it. I like Kareem, and it just adds depth to this loaded defense. Now, I this is like the I don't want to say because the Super Bowl 50 defense was like the reincarnation of the Orange Crush, but this is like the reincarnation.
Right.
I love our defense right now.
Mm-hmm.
And Vaughn is coming back, so hopefully
Vonster.
they all stay healthy.
Yeah, that's not on here, but that was a big decision that George Payton made, keeping Von Miller for another year. I believe his contract it was 17 million now, if I remember correctly, somewhere around there. And then obviously this last one here, Justin Simmons, first received the franchise tag, later signed a 4-year, 61 million contract that includes 35 million in guarantees. That is a lot of money going to our defense, especially our secondary there, Zach. But
Yeah,
do you think it's worth it?
I do think it's worth it. And this is one of on paper, this is one of the top secondaries in the league. Like I said on Twitter, I think the no-fly zone is back.
Mm-hmm.
Fuller, Darby, Simmons, you got Kareem. So it's exciting. And like six, if you include Vaughn, six of these moves, Boone is the only offensive move. Everything else is defense. So Peyton, I mean, Fangio is already, we know he's defensive minded, a long-time defensive coordinator. So the Broncos are honing in on that side of the ball. They know they're already they kind of focused on the offensive side last year, what with the receivers. The offensive line has improved. Noah Fant is emerging. So they're clearly focusing on the defensive side and the secondary,
Right.
with four of these being defensive backs. So I'm really pleased with what George Payton is doing, and this is this is going better than I ever expected it
Right.
would. So it's been fun to witness.
Yeah, I saw a tweet today saying that take out the quarterback situation for teams, and the Broncos are a top 10, if not top 5 team on paper. Um, and I mean,
Yeah,
I don't want to be biased, but I would agree with that. I think our defense is
yeah,
absolutely stacked, like you said, and we have all the weapons that a quarterback needs on offense. I mean, you've heard it over and over again. It's that we're a quarterback away. So, um,
yeah.
anyway, so overall, a very good offseason so far for Peyton's first year as GM. And I look forward to the draft this upcoming month, dude. We're getting into the nitty gritty here for pro days, and we just saw Alabama's first one out of two today. I watched Mac Jones. That's the only one I watched. Um, but let's before we move on to draft talk, let's just give these some grades since we promised that, and it's in our title. Back to the
Okay.
let's see here. Back to the link that I shared. 1 second. We'll start off with a controversial one here. All right, here we go. And Mike Boone. Um, and I still think he's mainly a special teams addition. I'm not entirely sure how much action he's going to get on in the offense, but he is a stud um, special teams player, really dynamic, and he's kind of solidified. He's kind of like a Slater. He was kind of a Slater for the Vikings, Slater for the Patriots, obviously. So I don't know. I feel it's hard to see that money go to Boone when it could have gone to Lindsey. Just kind of hard feelings there a little bit, but it was clear that Lindsey did not fit our um, scheme, and Peyton said himself he just wanted what was best for Lindsey, and Lindsey ended up going to the Texans and getting paid with 1 million guaranteed there, which is good for him. But I don't know. This Mike Boone thing is a little confusing. It's pretty surprising. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a C plus. I'll do B minus. What about you?
Yeah, I was thinking a B was coming to mind. And Peyton is familiar with Boone, so that has a lot to do with it,
Right.
and with his time with the Vikings. And I don't dislike Mike Boone. Boone is a pretty good running back. He has a career 5.3 yards per carry. I mean, he's hardly played. He got he got some more playing time in 2019, but when he's seen the field, he's done pretty well. And I mean, like I said, he was used sparingly behind Dalvin Cook and Alexander Madison. But I mean, he's a capable backup running back. I think he can back up Gordon just fine. I'm hoping that he's more than just a special teams guy. I think he will be more than that. But there is, like you alluded to, a sour taste in my mouth with Lindsey leaving. He was kind of a fan favorite and a local guy,
Right.
and he played well. You know, he was a gritty guy. He played well. He played really well for his size. He was undrafted, so you had all that, and it's tough to see a guy like that go. When I mean, and yeah, he may not have fit the scheme, but he's a good football
Hmm.
player. And by the way, the Texans have had the most random free agency I've ever seen. I just want to put that
Even
out there with all the guys they've
even worse than
signed.
last year.
Yeah, I mean, they're signing a bunch of players and adding depth, but it's
Pretty weird.
like it's just the most
Here,
random.
let's
Yeah.
look at them
Um,
really quick.
but anyway, I was going to give the Mike Boone signing a B minus, somewhere in that range. I wasn't going to go down to a C.
Yeah, I'm looking at their additions here. If you want to go there, yeah, dude, they've had a ton of additions. Holy buckets.
They've signed a bunch of
Holy cow,
players,
dude.
but it's like they're not top guys. It's just guys who are going to fill
Right.
roster spots mainly and add
Hey,
depth. So,
leave it to the Texans to sign Dante Moncrief. Am I right? And then, jeez,
yep, that was one of them.
uh,
Moncrief back from the
Andre
dead.
Roberts. Yeah, you're right. It's like all these depth players, but I don't know. And then we didn't
Yeah,
even
it's just
mention
so
Mark
random.
Ingram along with Philip Lindsay there. So it
Yeah,
it tells you,
David Johnson and Mark
yeah, it
Ingram.
tells you a little bit, um, how they view David Johnson, Old Man Johnson, right now. So
Yeah, and it's I kind of joked on Twitter that it's like Bill O'Brien never left with
yeah, it's
stuff that's
kind of
going on
crazy.
still. But anyway,
Um,
what's your grade for Shelby?
yeah, Shelby Harris, we got A plus for me right there, dude. I mean, he's such an integral part of our defense, and I mean, it was well deserved, and took too long to do that. Same for Justin Simmons. I'll go ahead and say that's an A plus. Um, Two key parts of our defense. You got to retain them, and huge locker room, um, characters right there. Really good, solid people you want in your locker room. So, what about you?
hmm Yeah, Boone is easily going to be the lowest grade I have out of these
Yeah.
six. Shelby is at least an A minus. He's a core cog of the defensive line. I was really happy to, with him and Vaughn and Simmons staying. I mean, that was going to be a good offseason in and of itself. But with the guys we've added, it's been amazing. But I'll give it an A. I'll give it an
Okay.
A.
Um, yeah, I'm gonna give everything else an A except Darby. I'll give a B. I'm just worried that was a
B.
little too much money.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
but hey, I hope he proves
And
us wrong.
yeah, and we're both hoping that Fuller stays longer,
Hmm.
right? Can we agree on that and past just the
Hey,
one
he
year?
took a little bit of a friendly contract too, so to be with us,
Hmm
he could have gotten
Yeah.
into the double digits easily. Uh,
Yeah.
so I
Wanted to play with Vic
Yeah,
again.
and I think it's smart on both ends because Fuller had his worst year last year, and obviously we're hyped about it because he did
Yeah.
so well with Vic. But it's smart on both ends to make sure we're being smart with him and that he's still Kyle Fuller that we know. And then it's smart on Kyle Fuller to do a 1 year deal to prove that he is still dominant. So good on both
Yeah.
ends there. So all right, man. I know you got to go soon, so let's pop into what this means for potential um, draft news.
Draft. Okay.
So we were talking cornerback quite a bit. How are you feeling about that now?
What was the surgery Farley just had? Because that's not making me feel very good. Not that we need him right now, but
It was
I know
It
he
was
went.
back surgery. It's an outpatient one day thing, and
Oh yeah,
but still he did have a back issue at the end of the 2019 season.
yeah. I was gonna say I thought he missed a couple of
So
games or
that
something.
is a little bit alarming for me. Um,
Yeah, and I know a lot of places had Farley as I think he was probably the most popular name for us at number 9 overall. I don't think that's the case anymore with Darby and Fuller. We haven't even mentioned Bryce Callahan though as our
yeah,
nickel corner. Um, but yeah, I don't think. I mean, to me, it screams what they've done in free agency screams quarterback. Whether it's trading up or waiting for someone like Mac Jones or Justin Fields at number 9, it just everything points to them drafting a quarterback. And I mean, I know I've said Micah Parsons too, but you've said this multiple times. He's got some character issues, and he could fall once the draft draws closer.
hmm
He does make some sense at number 9. Um, but I like AJ Johnson and Josie Jewell. I'd be okay. I'd be just
yeah,
fine with them staying in the middle. So
yeah.
to me, quarterback makes the most sense right now.
I would, yeah. And we only really say that because we were pretty. I mean, we were quiet in the quarterback realm during free agency. There was talk of bringing competition in for Locke, and we didn't see that in free agency, at least not yet. There's talk of Nick Foles coming to town. Don't know what the Jets are doing with Sam Darnold, but if we do go the vet route, it will probably have to be through a trade. If it's true competition for Locke, it will probably have to come through a trade. Um, and then I don't know how trustworthy this is, but they've been pretty spot on through free agency. But apparently, breaking news on Babbling Bronco, the Jets are telling their free agencies or free agent signings that Sam Darnold is going to be the starter in
Mm,
2021.
well,
What do you make of that?
I mean, this is prime blowing smoke period in the NFL year. But I mean, yeah, I was hoping the Broncos would take a chance on someone like Ryan Fitzpatrick or someone like that. To me, if they're seeking a trade for a lower level guy like Darnold, I feel like the Jets would be asking for too much for him still, even given his relative mediocrity, given the hype that came with him out of USC. But I mean, if we can get someone like that for the right price, I think I would prefer a Foles at a lower price. And I mean, especially with his experience with Shermer. What did you say his record
Yeah, I was
was
going to look
with
that up
him?
while you were.
Yeah, he's had good success with Pat Shermer. So I mean, if the asking price is too high for Darnold, and if they want to keep him, um, that that makes sense to me. I mean, it would be better than Jeff Driscoll. So we've got to address the position somehow. Whether I mean, we at least need good competition for
Mhm.
Locke to keep him honest.
So yeah, Foles was 14-4 as a starter with 40 touchdowns and 12 interceptions last time Shermer was his OC slash head coach. So he's
I mean, that's probably not happening again, but I mean, dang.
he's had, but yeah, he's had success there and in that offense. So it makes sense, and that's legitimate competition for Locke. Um, but at this point, Peyton is attending all these quarterback pro days. He didn't attend.
Yeah,
He did not attend Mac Jones today, but
Mac Jones.
he may next week when he throws again, and he's going to throw even more next week than he did today. So, um, but they did have their lead scout there for what it's worth. But we'll see. I don't know. Uh,
Wasn't wasn't Peyton at Trey Lance's
yeah,
pro day?
I believe that was. pre-free agency. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't write too much or look too much into it. But anyway, dude, I did 4 mock drafts today. If you want to pull that up for yourself, I'll share my screen here.
Oh, these were today that you
Yeah,
did these.
I was working hard today, as you can tell at my job.
Dang. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So as you can see, audience, we have 4 mock drafts. Uh, First one, let's just go through these in order. First one, Trey Lance fell to us. Probably is not going to happen. Uh,
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
but Samuel Cosme, good tackle from Texas.
I like that pick. He's one guy I've heard of in
He
here.
had a really good PFF grade past 2 years, really solid. And I know you would agree with this. We need some depth and right
Mhm.
tackle especially. So, and then Jamin Davis is actually a pretty good um, option, late second, early third, and in my rankings, pretty dynamic linebacker. Uh, Shoot, let me grab my. I actually had a comp for him because I did some linebackers over the weekend.
Ooh. Yeah, we could for sure use some linebacker depth. So
Jamin Davis, I put poor man's Devin Bush.
poor man's
So
Devin Bush. I'll take that. I'll take a poor man's Devin
he's
Bush.
a similar build. He also very speedy, sideline to sideline. Uh, so I think that's pretty good. Um, Pretty good spot for Davis there. And then you obviously your safety, Hufanga, and he's
Topanga.
actually been going up boards, I think, recently. So not bad, dude. Right there, I wouldn't scoff at that at all. Um, Fills
No.
needs, and you got some really good talent in that. And at the end here, Zach, I'm going to ask you to grade these by like most likely to happen, least likely to happen, and
Oh,
what you would like,
okay.
or which one you like best. So, number 2, we got a
Okay.
trade here with the Washington football team. We did give them our ninth overall, and we received ninth overall. We got a future first round pick out of the deal, and their second round pick in 2021. Uh,
Who are they getting at 9, Evan?
they did get Trey Lance, I believe.
Oh, okay. Put under Fitzpatrick's wing over
hmm
there. Okay.
So,
By the way, I love Washington's team right now, man. I just gotta
you like
throw that
what?
in there. Washington's
Oh
team
yeah, they
right
were in
now.
the same tweet when that I forget who said it. It said on paper their top 5 team
Oh,
without a quarterback. So
yeah, they're kind of a similar
yeah,
team, except they have a better running back.
that's that's probably true. So
Okay, I like this. I like this, Evan. This might be
I
up there.
don't see Mac Jones falling though. If anybody views him as I do in the top 15, I do not see him falling to 19. But hey, this, I mean, I'll tell you right now, this one's probably my favorite. You get future round first rounder, you get another second rounder, you
Hmm.
still get Mac Jones out of the deal, and you got your
Yeah.
linebacker tackle and some depth there. So, but that competes well for me with this next one at number 3. Traded with the Bears, who took, I think it was Trey Lance again. I didn't control those. I just controlled the Broncos.
Yeah.
So with the Bears, we got their
Right.
20th, similar to Washington. Um, Future first rounder and number 52. So this one, um, I
You know what I really like about this one, Evan?
you like Javante, don't you?
Yes.
With our second,
Javante is such a stud, man. Right before we started, actually, I saw who was it? Someone tweeted that he had a like 47% broken tackle rate last year,
yeah,
which is the highest they've ever
yeah, dude.
seen.
Um, that was on PFF too. I think they talked about that. It was
Was it?
like some insane stat. I won't pull it up now, but you guys can go look at his.
And 52 seems like a good range for him because I think he could go
He,
higher. I think he could for sure
yeah,
go
and I
higher.
think these running backs, I mean, all of them technically are like first round worthy, at least the top 3 in my opinion. But
Harris, Etienne, and
Yeah,
Williams.
but Etienne, yeah, I have Etienne behind Javante a little bit, I think. But all right, so 52. I think that's a good spot for him. Jalen Phillips was a bit surprising that he was there at 41 because I think he's a first round talent in most people's eyes. So this one really, this one I'd be just fine with as well. And then
Yeah, I like this one too. We got a little bit of everything
yeah,
in this one.
and then obviously I had to do a trade up for Zach Wilson in number 4 here um, with the news.
Oh my gosh, what did we give up here?
With the news that Jets may be keeping Darnold. Don't don't
Okay.
bank on that. But all right, so if I remember correctly, we received number 2. They received 9 first round pick 2022, our second round pick this year, um, our fourth round pick next or this year, and then second round pick next year. So they got 2 1s, 2 2s, and a fourth. I had to force
I don't know
I
about
had to
that,
force a trade because they kept rejecting.
dude.
That's why it's ungraded.
I mean, listen, you're more sold on Wilson than
What?
me, and what? I mean, I like Zach Wilson. I know you're more sold on him than I am. I don't know if I was in Peyton's shoes that I would give up that
Yeah.
much for Wilson. So
Hey, so
this
so
is tough.
afterward, I basically just did needs. I actually haven't heard of. I've heard of Jonathan Cooper actually. I don't see him falling that far, but for some reason PFF hates him.
Okay.
Um, but I just kind of filled needs, and then you just sold the farm for Zach Wilson there. So all right, so we'll go to. I'll start us off with least likely, and I'm just going to stay here at number 4. I don't think Peyton's going to sell the farm. It's just I don't think it's in his vocabulary to do that.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like that kind of guy. Yeah.
But dude, I mean, all right. So Bucky Brooks did a mock draft today, and he did one where Zach Wilson did not go to the Jets, and he went number 4 to the Falcons. He didn't have a trade. Zach Wilson went to the Falcons, and if that happens, dude, I say we try to trade up. But it just depends on where you have Zach Wilson in your rankings. I think he's Mahomes-esque. I won't say he's Patrick Mahomes, but he is definitely Mahomes-esque in his play. So
You know, some ironically have compared him to Drew Lock. I think he's more accurate.
don't make
for
me
sure,
laugh,
among
dude.
other things. I said that's what some
All
people
right,
said. I mean, Wilson's
he's
better.
he's
I'm
more
just saying.
athletic than Drew Lock. He's faster than Drew Lock. He can throw from any angle, unlike Drew Lock, kind of. Well, with accuracy, I should say. His deep
Yeah.
ball is light years ahead of Drew Lock's. Um, you made me mad. So,
Dude, I was just the messenger.
Whatever.
All right, you can't kill the messenger.
all right. So I'll say number
Even
4.
though they did it in medieval times.
I'll say number 4 is least likely. What about you?
Yeah, I would agree with that. It might be the least likeliest, and I don't know. To me, it might be my least favorite, just because of how
We
much
gave up, yeah.
we gave up.
I mean, it would
So-
take that much, so it may even take more than that.
Yeah, and yeah, some teams might be willing to give that. I was, with a quarterback class like this, teams are absolutely going to trade up for some of these quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I just don't want the Broncos to be.
I
one of them.
think you can easily say there's going to be more trades than last year in the first round, because there were hardly any. I don't know if there was one, dude. There may have been one. But
Really? I'm sure there were, like, at least before draft day. There's usually
we were
a few.
we were
but-
expecting a few, and it just didn't happen. Excuse me, especially in that top
You're
15.
right. Yeah, you are right, because I remember, we were like, well, maybe COVID and all the restrictions are having a lot to do with it, because teams just wanted to play it safe and go with guys that they
Yeah.
liked,
But yeah, we were expecting quite a few trades there in the top 15, but just didn't happen. So, all right. We both say number 4 for least likely, and you also said that's your least favorite. Um, let's go
Yeah.
most likely here. You start us off this time.
Most likely, Evan, probably number 3. Partially because in 1 and 2, Lance and Jones dropped a
Yeah.
bit, and so 3 seems the most likely just because of that. And I would be in favor of trading down to gain draft capital,
Especially if it's
and at the same
especially
time,
if it's that capital.
yeah, and to fill needs that we still have, and to get Javonte. Well, the 3 is probably the most likely and might be my favorite, to be honest.
Okay. Are you committing to that favorite? Can we say that's your favorite?
Yeah, go ahead. I like what we got from the
All right.
Bears.
Andy Dalton would be a little upset. They said he would be the starter coming in. So, I mean, he probably would be if it's Lance.
Yeah, I mean, poor Allen Robinson, dude. I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought Kenny G might go there too, but poor Allen Robinson.
I thought he might get traded. He still might get traded.
Yeah, he wants to hold out.
All right, so I'm going to join you here and say trading down is, so 2 or 3 for me is most likely. I say trading down is pretty chalky right now in the Broncos realm. And the most chalkiest part of it is Jock here going to us when we trade down. He's just an excellent fit for Vic. He can put him anywhere he wants. He's just a Swiss Army knife. Super fast. He's a blur on the screen. I mean, and he actually gets off blocks really well. In my opinion, there isn't much wiggle room between Parsons and Jock. I think Jock is more talented in a couple areas than Parsons, but that is an excellent trade down selection. So I will say number 2 is my favorite and 3 most likely. 2 is my favorite because you know how much I like Mac Jones, and at night.
Yeah. Now listen. Do you like Mac Jones more than Zach Wilson, Evan?
Absolutely not.
Okay, I didn't think so. I just wanted to make sure.
The main reason why I like Mac Jones is so much is because everyone is overlooking him, and he had a pretty historic season with Alabama. I mean, granted, he has 2 all-star wide receivers.
He had all pros all around him, but yeah, I agree. He's unheralded because his numbers are
But listen,
insane.
I mean, Tua had the same thing around him, and Mac Jones easily outperformed Tua this year. So, and that's 1 year under his belt, Zach. So,
yeah, Mac is unsung
I mean,
for sure.
I seriously, you're going to hate when I see this, but his pocket presence is Brady-esque, and his preparedness is Manning-esque. I mean, his preparation seriously reminds me of Peyton Manning. I watched a documentary on him, and people were saying he has like preparedness-itis or something like that because he's so scared. He's so scared that someone's going to out-prepare him, and just like everything about him screams Peyton. I mean, he even talked to Eli and Peyton on Zoom.
Well, I mean, I love to hear that stuff, but I wouldn't ever compare anyone to Peyton. So,
well, I can compare his preparedness to.
I mean, Peyton was legendary for that. So I don't know, man. I'm not ready for that yet. Okay.
All right. I'm not saying he's Peyton. I'm just saying he has some similar attributes. But anyway,
I do like number 2 a lot.
He's not athletic. I mean, I was a little miffed with Daniel Jeremiah because he was pouring so much in the athleticism and the quickness, which, don't get me wrong is important. But I mean, every single throw he's giving his wide receiver a chance, especially downfield, dude. Like, how many
Yeah.
times did we see Drew Lock throw it out of bounds during this season on those deep passes?
Well, and again, he had Devontae Smith,
Yeah, but
so
he's giving them a chance. That's all you can ask.
he was very, very accurate.
Pair Mac Jones with Sutton. I mean, he's going to put it in his realm. He's going to.
Dude, I would love Jones with our receivers and Judy's
I
route
know.
running.
That's what I'm getting at. I mean, that's. So I.
Plus, he's played with Judy,
Yeah. Well, technically, yeah, but.
kind of.
But seriously, like, I think Mac Jones is already. Um, his mind is already beyond Drew Lock. Um,
Like he's more advanced
yeah,
mentally for
yeah, and
football.
his accuracy for that matter. He's not
Yeah,
as athletic as Locke. Doesn't have the same arm strength. Although scouts have said his arm strength is plenty enough for the NFL. That's kind of overlooked
yeah.
as well. So, dude, sign me up for Mac Jones at 9. I mean, I don't even care. That's perfect competition for Locke, and it's good.
I don't hate
You're
it.
going to
I
get
don't
the
hate it. I
best
mean,
out of both of them.
the yeah, and I mean, I think the reasons we've said the reasons why he's not as highly thought of is because his perceived lack of athleticism, his elite supporting cast, and he's going to be 23 when the season starts, so that might have something to do with it. But I think, yeah, I agree. He's underrated. I'm not going to compare him to Peyton, but he does have some similarities in that he's not an elite athlete. He's an accurate passer. He has to rely on his passing. He's not tremendous out of the pocket. So I would be okay. I'm warming up to Mac Jones at number
Yeah,
9, and certainly at number 19.
yeah, for sure. Let's bring this up one more time here. So, in 3 of these, we got a quarterback. Again, that can change if we make a trade, obviously. And then if we do somehow get a veteran quarterback, I mean, that's screaming trading down and selecting Jock, or staying put and taking someone like Parsons. I think I made a bold prediction yesterday with you that Parsons would fall out of the top 15 just because of character issues, but
Mhm.
I think Jock really fits our mold in the defense, and I think Vic Fangio would really love having him back there. So that'll be a mean front
Yeah.
7, and then our secondary as well. Holy cow! Um, and then like your man crush here, Javonte Williams, man. Pair him with Melvin Gordon.
Get him
Yes,
the
please.
ball. See, to me, if we got Javante, he wouldn't see enough of the ball behind
Yeah,
Melvin. But we should draft a running back
it
at
was
some
it was it
point,
would
in
be
my
kind of
opinion.
like the Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Um, it was kind of a crowded backfield a little bit, but um, I think the main thing with Javante is he did run the ball a lot in North Carolina, um, so there might be durability concerns, but that'd be perfect. I think that would be perfect. But before we go, Zach, I want to ask you one more thing. Um, what would you do? Say all these quarterbacks are gone for whatever reason. Say we don't want Mac Jones, who should be there at 9, in my opinion, unless someone falls in love with him, like a Daniel Jones when the Giants selected him. But say all these quarterbacks are gone, you either trade back or whatnot. But say Kyle Pitts is there.
Mm. I feel like we've kind of, or at least had the beginnings of this discussion because I believe I brought up Noah Fant.
Yes.
And to me, I would love to have Kyle Pitts. I think any team would love to have Kyle Pitts, who, by the way, Kyle Pitts, Evan, could definitely go before Micah Parsons. He could go like top 5 or top
Right.
10. He's just a freak. I would love Kyle Pitts, but I mean that's like one of our like lowest needs is tight
And
end. I mean,
you still have Albert
I like
O.
no
You
fan.
still have Albert O, who tore his ACL coming
Yeah,
up.
we got Albert O.
But listen, Zach,
Fant
we
Fant can be a star.
we just
What's that?
cut Nick Vannett. How about that? Today we cut Nick Vannett.
So replace him with Kyle Pitts. I don't think the Broncos are going to not waste, but use their prime draft pick for a position that's already secured.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, he
You know?
said best player available several times, and he would be best player available if he got to 9.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to have Kyle Pitts on my team,
Also.
but you know, we got Fant, and honestly, Evan, I feel like as things progress, Pitts could go before number 9. So.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at all. But you just saw the Patriots get Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry. So
Yeah, we could have a lot of 12 personnel with Fant and Pitts.
But the question is, I mean, the Patriots are the Patriots. Look at their wide receivers compared to ours. Who do you take out? Who do you take out for Pitts?
Yeah. Yeah. That's another thing.
You could potentially take out Hamler.
You know,
I don't know.
You know who makes a ton of sense for Pitts in the top 10, Evan, is either the Bengals or the Eagles.
I believe someone today had the Bengals selecting him.
Did they? I mean, because who was the tackle they just got? Because a lot of us had Penei Sewell going to Cincinnati. I mean, he could still go there, but Pitts, they just drafted Drew Sample last year, but Pitts is just, I mean, he's leagues ahead of Drew Sample. That would really...
They got Riley Reif.
That's right. Okay, yeah. I mean, Pitts would honestly complete that offense. But, I mean, if Zach Ertz gets traded, it seems like that's expected. It could be the Pitts and Dallas Goedert show. We know the Eagles love to go 12 personnel. So, I mean, those two teams make sense before the Broncos show up.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long shot, but if he's there, I mean, that is pretty tempting.
Yeah, he's a wild card. He's one of the biggest wild cards.
Hey, another thing on Mac Jones, just because I'm on my Mac Jones high right now. Alabama loved the slants, and that's like one of his strengths. And match that up with Judy, dude. I mean, you could get that all day.
Yeah,
you could hit that all day.
Yeah, for sure. I would love to get those guys some slants.
All right. Well, let me throw this up really quick. We selected number 3 as most likely and Zach's favorite. Both of us, most likely. We both selected number 4 as, sorry, you can't see the numbers over here. Least likely, just because selling the farm for Zach Wilson, although we would not hate it because we got Zach Wilson. And then I chose number 2 as my favorite with Mac Jones at 19. Yes, please. And then still getting a second-round pick and filling needs there and getting some depth. So I think that does it, man. That was next time we need to do a mock draft. We're going to do our first mock draft. We're going to kind of hammer down on the studying here for you guys. And I went through and got through running backs and linebackers. But that's all I've done so far. A little bit of edge from before, but we'll see, man. We'll do our first mock draft next time, and need to get Taylor back on here. He's been pretty busy, so could do a 3-person mock. That would be pretty fun.
Ooh, okay.
But, all right, thanks for joining us, and as always, we will babble at